What's up guys, welcome back to Total Focus for another episode. So today I wanted to give you all the latest update on the RS. So last Friday, I think it was the 11th of August, I was driving, just casually as I do. I was driving from a city to a smaller city, it was just like 15 minutes out of town. So anyway, I was just driving along, normal, in 5th gear, doing like 100 kilometers an hour. And then suddenly I looked down, and on the dashboard the coolant temperature gauge started to rise really quickly. I was like, whoa, what's going on there? So I kind of just like backed off and just dropped it into a 6th gear so I wasn't revving it so high. And basically then I got a, like the alarm that comes up on the Fords. It goes do-do-do, do-do-do, like that when you open the door or whatever. It says reduced engine power to allow for engine cooling or something along that line. So here's a little picture of it now. So basically I pulled over and I was like, Jesus, this isn't good. So I pulled over, lifted the hood. I couldn't see anything, any smoke or any overheating issues or anything like that. So I was like, well, So I just kind of sat there, left the car running, and basically just let the radiator fans just try and cool the engine, while the engine's running. So anyway, the message disappeared. I was like, oh, that's fine. So we'll just carry on up the road, and again, it rose really high again to nearly the full maximum. I was like, what the hell? And the message came up, and I decided, let's just see what happens here with the reduced power. So it wouldn't rev past 3,500 revs, and it would like the revs would build really slow. I had no turbo boost, nothing. It was just completely powerless really. So again, I pulled over and let it cool down again. And I just drove it back really carefully, and straight away I went back to the dealership the next morning, and I was like, you guys got to look after this, you got to check it out, look into it. So here we are now. It's the 16th of August right now, and I dropped off the car yesterday. You can tell I am not in the RS. I am in something much larger. It's a 2017 GMC Sierra. It's like the Z71 package, so slightly lifted suspension. It's actually really nice. It's it's been provided to me by Ford of Canada. Again, they have stepped up and provided me with a loaner. I know not in all markets cars are available, but to be honest, as a little tip, just get onto your Ford of whatever country you're in, whether it be France, Spain, Italy, America, whatever, England, and if you kind of make enough noise, they might well help you out like they have with me. This is very nice actually. It's 4-wheel drive. I think it's a 5.3 Ecotec V8. I think that's what they call it. It's about 360 horsepower. So it's quite similar power to the RS, but obviously it's a lot larger, so it's nowhere near the same in performance terms, but it's great. I mean, it's huge. I don't know if you can really see. Here's the baby base, the baby seat base. It's really big, and it's maybe it's opened my eyes a little to how small the Focus is. I mean, it works, for us with the baby in the back and whatever, but it's just a little cramped. Very stiff ride. This is quite wallowy and heavy. It probably weighs like near 3 ton this. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to let you know. So I'll just give you a quick outside look at the So as I say, I dropped off the car yesterday morning with my local dealership again. They didn't have any kind of game plan or give me any kind of rundown of what they're going to do. They said, yeah, we got to look into this, but they didn't really kind of break it down, what they're going to do to try and figure out what's going on. They still haven't got to the bottom of any of the other issues, might I point out. The only thing being they got the fuel pump issue kind of figured out with the misfire. and whatever, and that's obviously another story. It's running lean, not good for valves, not good for the pistons and things like that. It's really bad. So anyway, I came home and I kind of type in my email, you know. I'm not going to disclose what I've been saying to Ford because it's a personal thing, you know. Obviously I can't really go too into detail about it, but I've been complaining, of course, because I'm fed up of constantly back and forth to the dealership with no real answers, no real repairs. It's just always diagnostics and inconclusive. Well, you know, like you've seen the pictures that I've just added into this little clips here. You tell me, like, that's not a normal thing. I can tell you that for sure. Like on a, you know, it's not a brand new car anymore. It's 14 months old, but it's done very low kilometers at 8,500 kilometers, which is just over 5,000 miles or so. And for all those that say that I'm driving it hard, you know, it's getting old, that, to be honest. I just drive it around the town, you know, with the occasional highway here and there, never really kind of pushing it too hard. Of course I'm going to accelerate. That's what the car's all about. It's an all-wheel drive car. It's like an Impreza STI or an Evo 10. They're all about off-the-line acceleration, so you're going to have some fun in that respect, yeah, but I'm not like driving it like a rally car driver or a racing car driver. I don't go to track days because where I live right in southern Alberta. I'm like an hour from the US border. There's nothing. Like, you could go to Calgary or Edmonton, but they're like, you know, a long enough drive for it to not even be worth it. So believe me, it's not it's not undergone any track driving or any hardcore driving. So let's just give that a rest because it's just kind of getting old now. I am genuine. I'm just fed up, and you know, obviously this is my channel. Like, people can choose to watch it if they like or not, but I'm just putting it out there. It's a personal experience. I'm not saying every RS is going to be the same. Just on my particular case, one, I'm getting treated terribly by Ford. The customer service is pretty awful. I mean, they've stepped up and given me this, fair enough, but on the repair side of the car, they're just acting like, well, you know, we can't find a problem, so there is no problem. That's basically how it's going. So anyway, type me a little email. I'm going on and on here and losing the point, but type me an email to Ford of Canada. Just kind of explained I dropped off the car, I have the hire car, thank you very much for providing that to me, which I am genuinely grateful for that, because, you know, great, I'm paying a lot of money for the Focus, and, you know, rightly so, they have provided me with a reasonable vehicle to keep me going. So yeah, I basically kind of had a meeting with her, you know, the person I've been dealing with, Ford Canada, her supervisor. I asked for a manager because I wasn't really too happy with the way things were going in the terms of repair or diagnostics. So I basically spoke to her superior, and that didn't go too well. Basically, he's like, yeah, we're not going to escalate this any further. After reviewing all of the notes and the case files, these issues that you experienced are minor in our opinion. I was like, dude, this is an ongoing thing. I can't use the car properly. The air conditioning, all right, it's kind of minor, but when you're living in a hot climate, you do really want to have it because it's so bloody hot here. Like, you know, those guys in England, all right, there's been a few bad comments about it, but honestly, when it's 20 degrees, 25 degrees in England, great. It doesn't really matter. You can drive with your windows open. It doesn't matter about your air conditioning. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. But when it's like 35 to 40 Celsius, like, and a really hot southerly wind coming, you know, from the Gulf Coast, it's just ridiculous. I cannot stress that enough. Any of you that might have been to Vegas, it's like a desert here in southern Alberta, and it's a similar feel when it gets that hot. Like, you just can't breathe. It's awful. So I'll leave that point there now. But so basically, that guy was just useless, the supervisor of the lady I've been dealing with. So then I was like, I posted a couple of things on the forums and that, and one guy approached me. I'm not going to name his name, but he was really helpful. He said, why don't you try and get in contact with one of the Ford guys in England? So he suggested to contact Andy Barrett, who is the Chief Executive, Managing Director and Chairman of Ford of Britain, or the United Kingdom, I guess. And I thought, well, I can try, you know, at least his contacts details are available, which is unusual because I've been trying to contact higher powers here in Canada and America, and it's just not even possible. Like, there's no emails, no way of getting in touch with them whatsoever. It's very difficult. So I sent him like a brief message just to kind of summarize my issues and that I'm over here and I'm not getting anywhere with the situation. And he replied and said, okay, you know, send this, break it all down to me, all the details, and send it to my Ford official email. So that's what I did. I mean, it was really long. Like, if it was on A4 pages, probably about 6 or 7 pages, just to document all of the separate issues that have gone on. And yeah, it was a long email. It took a lot out of me to kind of just bring it all back up in my mind, and it's quite stressful. Like, you know, you don't want to keep thinking about it, but you've got to get the point across to the people you're trying to get to. So I sent it to him. He's really quick at replying, which is great. Like, makes you feel better about the whole situation. You know, when you're contacting someone as high up as that, he's basically in charge of Ford in the United Kingdom. He's the chief. He's a big dude up there, like, so. He basically, it was a brief reply, but he's obviously reviewed it. He said, we're going to try and get this through to the right team, and he has forwarded it to the Canadian executives, you know, of Ford Canada. So hopefully right now, that's where I'm at right now, and hopefully the execs or the managing people, hopefully they are reviewing the email and the case, because I have an official case number regarding my car. They're gonna step up, because I have asked for a buyback, and right now at the customer service level, they're just like outright, flat out refusing it. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. We don't have a lemon law in Canada. I was like, well, the car's just, it's really unreliable, it's unsafe, it's not fit for purpose. I've kept really diplomatic, you know, I'm not blowing my head off at the moment, but I'm obviously trying to get my point across. There's been a little bit of frustration, but it's all by email, not phone calls, because you don't get anything across in a phone call, and nothing can be relayed again. You can't go back to the phone call, so it's just always better to put it in a proper documented email. You know, so obviously I've been trying to keep it, you know, very professional, because I want results, you know. So they don't have the lemon law here in Canada, but they do have a program with the Canadian Motor Vehicle Arbitration or something around that lines. It's basically like where you can mediate, and basically you have the two parties, so it'd be me versus Ford, and that sounds like, you know, Ford, me, I'm the little guy, they're the big guy, but it's not quite like that. You basically go to a small hearing, and the arbitration, I mean, come on, you guys will know what I'm talking about. I don't really need to describe it all, but the arbitration will be like the kind of middleman and on the level neutral ground, and just hear the story from both sides. I think if I went to that level, they're gonna go in my favor, because I'm getting all these problems. No one seems to be able to figure out the problem, even though I've given them photographic evidence. I've given them, you know, the car, there's leaking oil on the passenger side of the engine block, which is, you know, the right hand side, so if you're in England, the driver's side. I have given them all of the shots of the coolant gradually getting lower and lower and lower, and most recently I had a service in mid-June. It was like 6,200 kilometers, the first service, oil change, and now it's on 8,500, so just around 2,300 kilometers. Then they filled it right to the top, the oil was nice and golden, and now it is right at the minimum after just normal driving, and the oil is super black. So that's kind of weird with all the other issues. So there's got to be something. I don't understand how they cannot figure it out. They're the trained guys. It's just really, it's really frustrating, actually. I expected more from Ford. I've owned many Fords before. I've owned Ford KA. I've owned Ford Focus RS Mark 1, the 2003 model. Those of you in the UK and Europe will know about that. Great car. I wish I still had it. I've owned the Mark 2 Focus ST 3, which is the trim level, and it's a 225 horsepower 5-cylinder turbo. That was, again, fantastic, not one problem. And then over here I've owned the EcoBoost Mustang. It was okay, you know, it was a great car, but it wasn't for me, you know. I just didn't enjoy it that much. It was okay. Then I had the Mustang GT. That was pretty awesome, and I traded that in for the RS. So I kind of really regret getting rid of the GT for obvious reasons. That car didn't miss a beat, never had to put any oil in it. It was just really a very you know, reliable vehicle. It was fast, probably a little faster than the RS, but just didn't quite have the handling capabilities. And you know, it was just the whole kind of, you're driving a muscle car, you feel that rumble of the V8, it had an exhaust, it sounded great, and I miss it. It was a mistake to get the RS, I can fully say that. It's been a terrible owner's experience. It's just complete, the whole thing from start to finish now has just been ruined. Like, it's a special car, the RS, I'm not saying it isn't, but just the way it's gone for me, I am just so utterly sick and tired of it, you know. So I am going on quite a bit here, this video is going a little long, but I do appreciate everyone's input. You know, don't forget to hit that notification button, because then you'll see these new videos every time they're posted and you won't fall behind or whatever, because I'm trying to keep everyone in the loop about what's going on with the situation. Do hit subscribe, do comment, and like if you like it, dislike if you don't, and let me know why you don't like it. That's fine. We need to kind of, you know, see what you feel about all this. I do appreciate everyone's input, honestly. It's really nice, and you know, there's some good guys out there who do understand what I'm going through. There's other guys which just internet trolls, so whatever, as long as, you know, you've come to watch the video, I don't give a crap, really. You give me even more views, so whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there, but yeah, we'll be checking in with you soon. As soon as I hear back from Ford, either whether it be UK or Canada or North America, I'm gonna give you the full update and let you know what's going on. But if they don't kind of play any ball, I'm gonna give them, say, I don't know, I'm gonna give them till next Tuesday. I'm off again next Tuesday, so you know, just under a week. And if I don't hear anything by then, I'm gonna start this arbitration process. I've got all of the case notes from taking it into the dealership, every visit, and you have to detail it. It's quite a long process by the look of it. It's free of charge to me, doesn't cost anything. You don't have to have a lawyer or anything like that. You know, you just present it as best as you can with the evidence you have, and I have so many photographs. And then of course I've got like some video footage as well, so there you go. So I've gone on again, but that's it, guys. We'll see you guys soon, and thanks for watching. Take care.